Okay, so what we stopped was on Hita Muta Sutta Vinyata Ekata Nanata. So supposing I have done the eighth jhana, okay, that is Neva Sanya Na Sanya Ayatana, and I've emerged from that jhana. As soon as I emerge from that jhana, there is no conceptualization. There is no me at all at that point in time. Because what the eighth jhana will do is it will stop the perception. So when there's nothing to be perceived, so there is no person, there's no personality. So then what happens is that I become everyone. Okay. Or everything around is I. Let's say I see a bird. It's me as a bird. I see an insect. It is me as an insect. So it brings me a huge amount of joy, metta, that is kindness. Then if I actually uh, see them suffering, I feel very compassionate. It's as good as I am suffering. So then I want to heal the world because I'm seeing pain everywhere. Everyone is, in a way, painful. So I want to know what best I can do. So basically, that is how my journey starts. And when I see in reality, meaning reality as experienced, meaning that's my perception. So my perception says that you are everyone. So the conceptualization of separateness is gone. So whenever I see anyone, I'm seeing myself. So I become like a mirror. Anything standing in front of the mirror is not having any kind of perception. Nothing appears inside the mirror, even though the mirror is reflecting whatever is being seen. Isn't it true that when we stand in front of the mirror doesn't get worked up? So, this is the ultimate truth is as far as the Vedanta goes, that or non-dual or Advaita is just like a mirror does not react to anything. This yogi does not react to anything because there's no perception. Okay. So, if we have not experienced Arupajhana to the level of Neva Sanya, Nasanya Ayatana, it would be difficult to just assume that everyone is me. Or I can intellectualize and say, yeah, I know, you know what, Gopal Krishna is myself, Rupa is myself, Ashwin is myself, and all of that. It doesn't fit. Why? Because there is no experience. Because there should be a real perception happening. Just like the mirror. Yes, Saryu.
Quick question. So I previously thought that you had mentioned that in the sixth jhana, the infinite consciousness, you also had similar oneness.
It would be,
experience.
yes, it would be because there are no objects. But this
Yeah,
is,
so how would it be different?
there is huge difference, but you should attain that and attain this to see. It's just like asking, okay, I ate an apple from so and so place and I'm now eating apple from so and so place. What's the difference? The apple taste is a difference. Apple is no different. That means both doesn't have an object to perceive. But when you emerge out of it, the sixth jhana, that's the reason Buddha says it is Cheto Vimukti. In the seventh is Akinchayatana. You look at the, what is that? Mahavedala Sutta. It's very clearly mentioned that it will give you the realization of Cheto Vimukti. Yeah. But that is lower. Yes, at that stage also you will see you not being there because there are no objects. Only the subjective experience remain. There's no objective experience at all. To cite an example or to make it very clear to you, this Potala Palace, what you're seeing in the background, is no Potala Palace there. It's just a background. So, in my mind, what I can do is I can get into infinite space. And then if I keep on watching that, it becomes live. That's infinite consciousness. Even the non living, you can see the atomic movements, how it is everywhere. Consciousness is, that's the reason, infinite. It's not finite. You get a conscious experience of, like I'm watching it, there's a movement. Can you be in that moment? Then you're infinite consciousness. And then you get into nothingness. There's no thing out there except for a conscious experience of something being there, nothing being there, no object experienced. Then a very funny incident happens that the perception is gone completely. You should experience it. In that, the light is switched off. That's the highest state in Vedanta. In Sanskrit, it is called the state of fourth, Turiya. And if you are in that state, there is no rebirth because it's asankheya. When will you get perception? I don't know. But there's zilch or switched off. So you're out of your suffering because rebirth is suffering. Now, this rebirth ended, or at least it has got, what I can say, it has got stopped. So when I emerge out of that Neva Sanyana Sanyayatana or Turiya state, I come back to the waking state, Jagrata Avastha. And now my mind is completely changed. I can see everyone as myself. No Dvaita, duality. It's me in everywhere. I'm not joking. That's what I see. I'm not hallucinating. That is what I see. But the problem is, I see, I exist. So I became Ekatta, much beyond the Neva Sanyana Sanyayatana. Or the experience of a wakefulness, a trance wakefulness, or a transcendent wakefulness, whatever you want to call that as, and now no longer a dream, because our wakefulness is a dream. Extended dream is a dream, and then you go into the oblivion or dissolution, the person sleeps. So it is Jagrata, Swapna, Shushupti, Surya, four states. Jagrata is a waking state. Like we are seeing now, is an experience, but it is fake. There's no real. Nothing out here is real. It's a stupid way of saying. Was like we can call Puttujana 1.0, where he thinks I am staying here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm eating. Like we went to Madras Cafe, we had idli and vada, and then we also went to another place and we again had like Mylapore, we had idli and vada and dosa and all that. Then we drove, we went to Santa Clara, we did this, we did that. All of that is swapna. As far as the Vedanta goes, swapna means dream. It's a dream, which Buddha also says, you've never seen reality. You've never been introduced to reality in the first place. So all relationship you have in the world is dream. And anyway you dream, when you close your eyes, there are dreams which comes. And after that, you go into Thinamida. You're never awakened. The fourth state is the awakened state of a yogi. Is awakened. There's a vacant gaze in whatever he's seeing. It's devoid of everything. But Buddha challenged Buddhaka Ramaputta or Uddalaka Maharshi, if I were to use Sanskrit, that this is not the end. I want to know the end, not the beginning of the end. Why? Because perception is still there and feeling will arise. If I don't have perception, there is no feeling. So now I have come into the Vedanta, the end of Veda, which is oneness, meaning there is no two, dual. Everyone is me as that. It's just an extension of myself. I want to enjoy, so I have one person here. So what they did, they went into symbolism. So the scriptures, they made it symbolic. So what they did, they took Krishna and made him having 16,000 wives. And people started believing Krishna had 16,000 wives. He never had a single wife. But he is as those wives. That's a very symbolic way. If somebody were to ask me, can you tell me, is there a difference between me and you, how I should do it? You have to symbolically do it. But India is a land where symbolism doesn't work much. So they made him as a god and having 16,000 wives. It's fabrication of the mind. But nothing can be done because the normal person does not have any clarity from the first jhana to the eighth jhana at all. And he doesn't even know. Forget the normal person. We talk so many so called gurus, they won't have really done it. That they can stay in that state forever. Okay. So, to take it further, let me put it in a real way. So, there is one Swami, okay, or rather two Swamis, who did this. What they did, they told their disciples, I'm now going to enter into this samadhi. The moment I stop my beats, construct a complete or close the body, okay, and I am going to come back at will. So he did. In 1695, this Swami did it. But since people couldn't understand this, they started praying that Swami or worshipping that Swami, which is stupid act because he can't do anything to you. He is in samadhi. What will he do? But they believe he is going to do something. There's another Swami in Karnataka who stayed for 125 years. He was in 13th century. So he attained this Nevasanya Nasanyayatana or Turiya state. And he asked his disciple to do the same thing. And they did. And guess what? Instead of people knowing how to do it, they just worship this Swami, not realizing it's not going to help them a bit. Because you have to sit and get into that dhyana or jhana. You have to get into ekatta, oneness. And that's a achievement. It's not something to be understood. The consciousness understands it. This is ekatta. So Vedanta ends there at ekatta. So Buddha went beyond what Vedanta can show. That's the end of it. So Uddalaka was very happy because his disciple could achieve something extraordinary. And when confronted by Gautama, he said, even I don't know if there is something beyond like what you're saying. This is what I know. And I've given it to you. And then Gautama said, I need to go. I want to search for that which ends the journey. Why? Because the Turiya state brings back to the waking state. If there is a waking state, there's going to be perception. And if there's going to be perception, there's going to be feeling. If there is a perception and feeling, the samsara starts. And maybe in a higher realm, but it still starts. It doesn't end. I want something which will end the journey. So a Puttujana 2.0 is one who has traversed from the Pathavi, earth, till 23rd, which is Nanatta. Not Jnana, Nanatta means multiplicity. So now what is this Nanatta? If it is Ekatta, what is Nanatta? Nanatta is dividing yourself into 1,000 parts at once. Okay. Now there is a mention in Rigveda called Purusha Sukta. It says very clearly how you should do Nanatta because you are in Ekatta. Now you can do Nanatta. It says Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshad Sahasrapad Tabhumim Vishvato Vrutva Atyadishta Dashangulam. There are two lines. Beautifully explains Nanatta. What it means is Sahasra Shirsha. Sahasra means thousands and thousands. Shirsha means head. Purushaha, that which is onlooking, has 1,000 heads. That which is witnessing has 1,000 heads. Sahasra Shirsha. Purushaha. That Pura, that person who is having got into unity, oneness, can now see 1,000 heads. It's true. You will see 1,000 heads. No imagination. You would see 1,000 heads. But there's a perception of 1,000 heads. Sahasra Akshad. Aksha means eyes. Thousands of eyes. Sahasrapad. Legs. Sabhumim. The Bhumi means, they take it as earth. Bhumi means that on which it is standing. Vishvato Vritva. Vishva means the world. The knower of the world. Vritva means turning around. Atyadishta Dashangulam cannot be counted in 10 fingers. And if you want to really say how it is looks, how can I experience it? The answer is you can't. You just cannot imagine. So then the question comes, how do I know it? That I've attained it. So then the next line says, Purusha evedam sarvam yat bhutam yatcha bhavyam utamrutatvesh yadanne na atirohati etavanasya mahima ato dhyaya. The dhyaya is word is used. Only can be sensed through meditation. So Purusha evedam, this Purusha, sarvam, everything. Yat bhutam, the third in, or rather Patavi Apo Tejo Vayo Bhuta. Yat bhutam, yatcha bhavyam. So Patavi Apo Tejo Vayo Bhuta Deva Brahma Abhasara Subhankina Vehapala Abhibhu Akashanchayatana Vinyananchayatana Akinchayatana Nevasanya Nasanyayatana Hita Sutta Mutta Vinyata Ekatta Avirinyanata, in that sentence. Bhavya, bigger. So that's what Purusha is. Okay, so we need to get into the non-dual, Advaita. And then you get these two, which is Ekatta and Nanatta. So there's no person. You are just an existence. And you are existing as everyone and everything. That's a beautiful thing, a beautiful state to be. And it explains further. I don't want to get into that, but that's what it is. Now, if you really experience Nanatta, 23rd one, you have reached the end of the tunnel. And the last is Nibbana. But you are experiencing Nibbana, and hence is a problem. You've gone beyond Neva Sanya Nasanyayatana, Turiya. You got into Ekatta, brilliant. Got into Nanatta, wow, this is extraordinary. But the last one, there is no you to experience. If there is you to experience, even as Nanatta, multiplicity, still rebirth. So then the question comes, how do I end then? Because Vedanta ends with here, in the Turiya, with these two phala, which is Ekatta Nanatta. So Buddha went beyond the last step, the step which was missing. He found out the step. The last jump, if I could use, is by the Buddha. So we are following Buddha for getting into the last step, nothing else. But for that, they should have attained all 23s. If none of them has been experienced, it's just intellectual stuff. It's just fabrication of the mind. That's it. Nothing else. I just keep on reading something and I feel, I got it. I understood. I understood. There's nothing to be understood because the mano is understanding, which doesn't make any sense. There should be changes in the chitta, not in mano, not in vijnana. It's a horrible thing with vijnana. Let it go. It's just objectification. Then come to mano, itipi mano. That's what I was sharing on the other day, what Buddha talks. A normal worldling, it's better off that he lets go of, or he thinks death means bodily death, because the mental, he holds on to it. So first we have to cleanse the vijnana, right? But mano has to be removed. Then you come to the sakshi, which is the witness, chitta. And when you have the chitta, and the transformation happens in the chitta, not in mano, not in vijnana. There's nothing which happens in vijnana. Vijnana just picks up the item. It doesn't have any discernment. Mano has discernment. It can discern this is right, this is wrong. That is there in mano, not in vijnana. Vijnana doesn't even know what you're talking about. It just knows to bring into awareness. Something is there. I'm seeing this. And the mano will say, you know what? This is Potala Palace. Got it. But the actual owner is chitta, not mano. Mano is conditioned. And the light has to be switched off. And then there's no existence. The light is chitta. Abhasaram idam chittam. And that has to be ended. That has to be extinguished completely as a fire. So how do you do it? Basically, you should know how the Puttujana does. He takes Patavi as himself. He takes Apo as himself. It's mine. Like I constructed a house. It's my house. It's my water. It's my air. It's my fire. I am the Bhuta. I am the Deva, like that. But when he comes here from the first stage of conscious experience of jhana, no idea. Because he's never been into Pajapati realm. Forget that. He's not even entered into Deva realm. So, not worth it. This is what Puthujana is. And now I come to the last one, 24. From a Puthujana perspective, how it looks. Because I was in this earlier, long time ago. So I can tell you how it looks and how different it is in Buddha. So Nibbana. In 95, when I had an out-of-body experience, and the moment came when I knew it is gone. But I was seeing that. It's completely erased out. Such a peace I had never experienced in my life. Or near-death experience, out-of-body experience, whatever you want to name that as. And that quest from that day started. There is something I need to know. It worked at that time. How did I do it? The same Swami, what I was talking about, I was in that place looking at how did he enter into Samadhi, meaning he was alive. So the English had taken that property, meaning that place in Andhra and Karnataka border was ruled by one side Nizam, which is Sultan, and another side by English. So at that time, English had just started penetrating into India, but it was majorly with the Nizam. So then this Swami asks that king to give him this land, a small piece of land. And that Nizam asked him why. And then he says, this is the reason. And that Nizam gets convinced about it. So I don't want to put that whole story, so let me put it short. Then he entered into the Samadhi, into Neva Sanyana Sanyayatana. Yes, you're right. So I wanted to do, I've been into this for a long time. So I was uh, trying, on that day, it was very nice. I was listening to the same cassette all the time. So when I came back to Bangalore, I knew that I'm dead, but I knew I'm alive. It was a very startling moment for me. How can this happen? So from that time, I've been looking at it. It ends the journey, but you know you're there. I wanted to know that, how to do it. Okay. Only in 2018 I could do that, or 17. 17, not 18, 17. And then that increased my faith on Buddha. I could see it. And on the Puthujana level, I had attained it in 95. Okay. So I know it works. So we need to learn the art of going from the first jhana to the eighth jhana, 8 to 1, 1 to 8, 8 to 1. It's just like, make sure, always on that. Then you get some psychic powers. Okay, that's a part of it. I can cure someone and all that. That is not relevant at this point in time, but you need to do this. And the Nibbanic effect, what you have, even as a Putujana, is marvelous. Yes, Aryu.
I have a question. So when you say at 95, there's some echo. The experience was more of a Puttujana type, and in 17 it was more of an Arya type. Is that in 95 you were taking it as my experience, where in 17 you did not. So that's a difference for you. Can you explain that difference in any way?
You do it yourself. You have to do it yourself. It's DIY. Do it yourself. You will come to know. You would come to know. It's nobody else who comes to know. It's you who comes to know. There's nobody to convince because there's no one there, basically. Aryu is simple. There's no Aryu. Whom will you convince? Just put that and see. Oh, to whom will you show? To whom will you share the experience? So it's not there. See, when you get into Ekatta, this just goes away. You don't feel separated out. There's no separation. Nanatta is even more wonderful. And hence Buddha has made it from the least Patavi to the highest Nibbana. 24. So there ends the Puttujana journey, because from the first jhana onwards is what we need to do. Okay. So what are the ways of entering into the Puttujana kind of samadhis? Many. You take the Tibetan, you can do it. You take the Hindu traditions, you can do it. You can take a Christian traditions, you can do it. You take a Islam, you can still do it. You take Jain, you can do it. You can take Buddhist, you can do it. But all Putujanas. Why? Because you have to have some deity. You need to have something to see, some kasina, some this, some that. Something has to be there. Otherwise, you can't do it. It's not possible. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the other traditions, but one specific question about Jains, right? So Buddha was following their methodology before he go into jhanas and start his own path, but it did not seem to mention that during the time where he was torturing himself, he was in any samadhi.
I'm
So
not talking about that torture thing.
okay.
Today, like we went to the Jain temple, you can take the Arhants as an example and then start working. What's it? It works. Or you take autobiography of a yogi, Paramhamsa Yogananda, do exactly what is mentioned by him. You will reach that state. Yes.
So I guess Buddha was doing maybe one of the ways he understood how to do it, but it was not the proper way of the
No.
Jains.
What Buddha did is what a Shramana Marga is all about. I am not talking about what Mahavira and Buddha did. I am talking about the Jain temple we went in Sunnyvale or wherever we went, right? Bilpitias, where we went there. I'm talking about near Chirag's home. You should take a symbol and do it. Why do you think there were so many different deities there? Because you require, right? So you need to do something. Otherwise, it doesn't get installed. Why do you think there is a cross for Jesus? You require some symbol. How will you not symbolize to get into the first samadhi? It's not possible. Savitaka savichara has to be there. You just can't do anything. Otherwise, it will symbolize whatever it wants. It will symbolize worldly things. First, you should get into the first jhana for yourself. And you know you're in first jhana. Then you should get piti, or in second jhana. Then you should get ananda or sukha or bliss, the third jhana. And you become equanimous, fourth jhana. You will come to know. And you know it lasts for a number of days. It lasts for one full week. You're so happy. You don't want anything in life. So you know you have attained that jhana. Now continue. After a week, make it 2 weeks. Make it 4 weeks. Make it 10 weeks. Make it 12 weeks. Keep on doing it, pressing it, breaks. Breaks, you get into the akasha. And then you get into consciousness. Yes.
So I guess me, for example, and maybe probably many others who's trying to practice this jhana. So it's not like we don't understand Savitaka, Savichara, or how to, enter the bridge, but we do not have the proper skills of balancing ourselves and intensifying that to the degree that you cross over that bridge, and then there's a second bridge, and
Yep.
then
Yeah.
third.
Yeah. That's right. See, very simple terms. Let me tell you. First jhana, the maximum time it can survive without you doing anything extra is 1 full day. So what ISKCON does? They put people in trance. So they put the song Radhe Krishna or Radhe Govinda or something like that, and they keep on dancing and dancing and dancing and dancing, and they get into the first jhana. What did Osho do? He started dynamic meditation. So you keep on dancing and you suddenly stop. So the mind stops. And the mind stops. You enter into the first jhana. There's no thought. It's gone. It becomes avitaka vichara. No vitaka, no vichara. Without vitaka vichara, you're in second jhana. Because you require some thoughts. There's no thoughts coming. So obviously, you feel very glad, gladdening of the heart, because there's nothing to carry, no carrying anything. So then you push it. So what happens? When you're in second jhana, it stays for 3, 4 days. You're just happy. You have no reason to be happy. You can be like that. You just be observing and you're very happy and very happy and very happy. And it fades away. And it fades away, you know it is fading away. Then you again put effort. It comes into, instead of going to the second jhana, it now enters into the third jhana, which is ananda or sukha or bliss. You're blissful, filled up. It stays for a week. So what was staying for a day would stay for 3 days. This thing stays for a week, 7 days. And now I come to the fourth jhana. Neither pleasure, pain of the body nor mental pain and pleasure. It stays for a month, 28 days cycle. So I start on the full moon day, not a new moon day. Actually, it is to be done on a full moon day. It comes to the next full moon day. Equanimity, pure and bright. Then on the next full moon day, I determine to get into the infinite space. It is beautiful. Can be in that state for a even more long time. And then Vinyanan Chaitanya takes and takes and takes like that. So it keeps on increasing, not reducing. But I might get all of this in 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and something like that. It's like a trailer. Basically, I'm just fast forwarding things and I say, you know what? I got it. Yes, you got it, but you couldn't sustain it. It's about sustenance. For sustenance, celibacy is important thing because you need to store the energy. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So, for the first thing, what Buddha says is abrahmacharya shouldn't be there. And you see this, Patanjali, what does he say? Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha. Simple. What does Mahavira Jain says? Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha. Same. Without Brahmacharya, can you sustain this for a long time? No. So what Buddha did, how to bring them to this path? He said, Vivicheva kamehi, Vivicheva akusala dhammehi. At least to get into it, stop for some time and see the difference. So when you get this will automatically go away. So that Panchanga Sutta, that Sutta, SN 36.19. That's what it explains to you. That if somebody says there is no sensual, I don't agree. There is sensual, but it's limited, far, far, far limited. Like the ice cream ride, what we went, Eru, on that day. We traveled somewhere and you took to some Korean or some joint or whatever joint was there, some thing like a fish thing where he gave that green color ice cream or something like that. And that couldn't stay. Even though we stood in the line and then we ordered and so many people came and they ordered, and then 10 o'clock was closing, we went at 9:50 or something like that, right? So that ice cream parlor, by now, it's gone. On that next day only, it is gone. Forget about the coming till now. We know the effort we have taken to eat the ice cream couldn't survive. It couldn't stay. ಕಮಲಮ್ಮ ಅವರೇ ಇದನ್ನ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. So basically, we need to see that if you want to live sensuality, you should get something better. Otherwise, there's no point. I can keep on saying sensuality is not good, sensuality is not good, but unless I've seen something better than sensuality, what's the thing? What's the point? Right? There's no point. Yes.
One question. So I think after people having sex, right, they would be in this sort of blissful state for a while.
Yes.
Is that analogous to some jhanic state?
Yeah,
in some
it
way?
is. The before the ejaculation, when there is merger, see, two bodies becomes one body. When you are holding it, you have still not completed it, you forget yourself. There's no self, right? The woman is also having no self, and the man also doesn't have no self. How long can he stay in that state? This is where Tantra started, saying that can you be in this for a long period of time? Because it is Shiva Shakti dance, or yin and yang. So one side is yin and another side is yang. So male and female, it keeps on moving. So can you stop the movement for that moment? There's no movement of the mind. That means it cuts separation. So it becomes ikatta. It means it's crossed everything. It's coming to 21st, 22nd. And then if you can stay in that embrace for 5-6 hours, no ejaculation, no semen coming out, no dryness, but nothing coming out, then you have become the owner, Shiva, and the Shakti is tamed. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess, but even after ejaculation, there was piti sukha ekakata to some extent for a little bit.
Little bit.
No.
That's all. See,
Just a
now
little bit.
once they finish the act, it hardly 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then over.
But it's very blissful. It's same qualities as jhanic in that sense.
It is jhanic, and that's the reason we would like to engage in sex, because it is jhanic. So we keep on searching for sex because that it is jhanic. It takes you to that jhanic experience. And why Buddha calls it as a kamma dhamma is because you don't require anyone to get into the bliss.
But for normal people, they would compare it to heaven because it is heavenly
No,
joy in some.
even for a normal Putujana, if you see, celibacy is the most important thing. So even a Putujana following, let's say, Patanjali, is mandatory to have for the Savikalpa Samadhi, you require to be celibate. See, when Buddha says Putujana, you need to understand he has not understood how to end rebirth. That's the definition of the Buddha as far as Putujana goes. In our case, the Putujana, what we are talking is worldly person. No, Buddha's way of explanation of Putujana is different than the worldly state what we are talking about. We are talking about ice cream parlors and going here, going there, going to America, going to this place and that place and enjoying, eating, shitting, drinking, all of that, right? And that's not what Buddha is talking about. He calls the yogis as putujana because they don't know how to end the suffering. That's totally different. So, first and foremost, we need to enter into all the jhanas, and you should know for yourself how to stop as a putujana minimum, and you know it is not stopped, then you come back to Buddha because the last step is from the Buddha. Nobody else could do it. Yes.
And I guess if you couldn't sustain it for 2 to 3 days, you couldn't say you know second jhana.
No.
And if you can't sustain for 7 days, you cannot say you know the third jhana.
Yes. I should come for a month. One Purnima, that is one new full moon, to the next full moon, you are in equanimity, fourth jhana. Then you are ready for the next ride, Ayuhaska ride, which is 4 Arupa jhanas. So when they get Ayahuasca or LSD, they get into the Arupas. So there's a ride. They go on a ride because the body is gone, completely evaporated. Now you're on Ayahuasca or on LSD or whatever drug you want to take. So can you get into that jhana? Yes.
I guess ayahuasca take you to Arupa, but some other drugs like heroin or some this kind of that, uh, fentanyl or whatever, they also take you to some kind of blissful.
Yes, all the drugs, including sex, will do something to you. It will change your psyche.
So there'll be PT, sukha, and all that
All
stuff.
that will be there. All that will be there. So any drug, see, sex included. Sex is the biggest drug. There's no other drug better than sex. The beautiful drug doesn't cost you anything, but it will cost your body. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, I guess it's the quality of the pressure may not be different, but the way they get it through sex, through drugs, it's like robbing the bank for the pleasure. So you're gonna get punished for that. But that pleasure you can get through proper means through jhana, and that's why we're doing it like this.
Yeah, correct. So Mrityunjay asked a very nice question. So let me read. Let me know whether they are having food during the stay in the jhanic stages for a month. Sir, I think the physical food is a physical food, but there won't be a necessity to eat a lot because they are above the stage of kama. So there are 3 loka: kama, rupa, arupa. Okay? So when they are in kama loka, pure sensual. When they are in rupa loka, the 4 jhanas. In the arupa loka, there are 4 jhanas. So there is one movie called Samsara. I think you should watch that movie, the old one. Okay. In that, that person enters into the eighth jhana and he stays there. Okay. I don't know. Can I play that and then I can show to you your question? Yes, Ashwin. Yeah. See you. Bye bye. Yeah. I think I can play it for you and you can see it for yourself, Mrutyunjay. I think you're seeing it, right? So now this person is in that monastery and he is going there and you see how he would be sitting. He's in Nevasanya Nasanya or Turiya state. And they tell him in the ear. So basically, if you're in Rupa Jhana, you need to eat. But if you get into Arupa Jhana, you don't have to eat. Because there's no Rupa to be had to eat or do anything. So do you want to attain that, Mrutyunjay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do it. You can do it. Try.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So I think we are done then. That's all. We are done with 24. So we have done the Putujana part. Yes, Mrutyunjay, go ahead.
Really, today's session has actually to tell the it has this crossed all the knowledge that we are supposed to have.
Thank you. So the fun part, Mrutyunjay, we had been to one temple yesterday. My friend wanted me to join. So it is a very funny state. They are saying this Purusha Sukta without knowing what it is. They're supposed to be Nanatha, diversity. They should be able to see themselves in spread out everywhere. And they just make it as a ritual. So unfortunate. There's feeling what a dumb people are there. So dumb. They didn't even know what they're doing is bullshit. and they only do is some stupid rituals. So they don't even know what they're doing, because that's the state of your existence. And that's so true. You are that. Yes.
So this actually, whether I am what I am saying is the experience. What you are telling that Raghavendra Swami is in those things. Similar to those things, I also had those experience, but now I am not able to reach back to that type of experience. That is the drawback that is I am having, and I feel during this Corona time also I had this what is that disease, and I was almost in the stage of the death experience stage also. That also I had. Both ways I have had. One is in this janic type of what experience that losing out the body, and here with the disease losing out the body. Both types now actually I am trying to gain back those experience and I am not.
No, basically, I'll tell you what, Mrutyunjay, for some reason, if you have hallucinated, you will never get it back because it's hallucination. But if you have really done it, it will not go anywhere. You can get it back at any time. But it will take time, because let's say in my case, it just happened. So I don't know how it happened, but it just happened. So it took me a while to get back to that state. I had to do a lot of effort to get back. But if you got back, if you have consciously got it, you can get it all the time. Sometimes what happens is when we are sick, or when something we are doing and suddenly we get into that trance state, and we might feel that we have got in there, it can be hallucination. But when that fades away, there's no way to get back, because mind game, it is just a mind playing it out. So we can't really say that I was really in that. So that's the answer, because you need to see whether it's real versus hallucination. Hallucination, you can never get it back. Okay. No matter
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
how much I get convinced of myself, I'll never get it. If it is real, you will get, you know the steps also. How did you get there? You follow the same step, you're again there. Again follow the same step, again there, again there, again there, like that. Yes. Mrutyunjay, go ahead.
Just as a practice, we should be able to do that.
Yes. So instead of going by that hallucination or whatever you had, you start from the beginning. You start from having
Oh,
leaving the immoral and then starting with this, and you should be able to get there.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Majorly, Mrutyunjay, we have to work out on the hindrances, and then that will help. But another thing is that all of us should take it as our life goal to achieve. Whether we achieve something in money or power or position or whatever that thing is one part. That should be there, but this should be our goal. And then you get it. At least as a mundane view or a Puttujana view. And Puttujana means childlike. So you first get childlike in getting all of these gifts till 24. And then work out on the Buddha. So tomorrow, should I start with Aryamag? We are done. We are done with Putujana. We have understood what is Putujana. So we are Putujanas. I don't know. So basically, we can close and Start with sec trainee. So shall we end for today, knowing that we are at least kind of Putujana? Yes, Gopal Krishna.
Sir, last class you mentioned that you will going to teach us how to
Gopal Krishna, your voice is breaking. I couldn't hear anything.
last class, sir, last class.
Uh-huh.
So you mentioned that you how to enter into jhana stages. You said you will start with that.
I've already doing it right in the Hindi session. I'm doing it, and I've also told you how to do it. So take anything you want. If you want to do as a Putujana, you can do whatever you want, right? You can
Okay.
take any idolization, any mantra, anything that will take you there. Or you
Okay.
just want to use a breath, you can use the breath.
Okay.
Whatever it takes.
Okay.
See, as an example, simple thing. Hey, Luke, how are you? So, as a simple thing, so hum or hamso. Just take that and in breath so, out breath hum, or out breath hum, in breath so. Hamsa, hamsa, hamso becomes hamsa. Hamsa means swan, which is white. So ultimately you get white. So you get to the fourth jhana. Simple. Okay. So
Okay,
hum,
sir.
so hum, so hum, so hum, so hum, so hum, so hum, so hamsa. It becomes hamsa, which means swan. And swan is white. Do that. You'll get into the first jhana, the second jhana, the third jhana, fourth jhana. So you're in 4 material jhanas. So you get white light. That's it. Very simple. Then,
Okay.
after emerging into the white light, you drop the body. You become sun, like sun, thousands of sun. Then you're into the fifth jhana, which is infinite space. Like a sun moving everywhere, you start moving everywhere and becomes infinite, ananta akasha. Okay. Then afterwards, whatever you see, it starts to move, but you are not moving. So it becomes infinite consciousness. Okay. So then you see Chaitanya. In Sanskrit, it's Chaitanya. You see Chaitanya everywhere, or in Pali, it is Vijnana. So you see consciousness everywhere. Then you just drop it. Drop what? Objectification. Only subject is remaining. So vastu shunya. Vastu means object. Vastu shunya. There's no vastu. It's only the eye which is seeing, but there's nothing seeing there. There's nothing, no object. So it becomes nothingness. Shunya. Then you push further. You are neither dead nor alive. Turiya. Done. What's there? That's the step.
Okay.
In fact, Soham meditation is the most easiest of all because it is swan. Just becomes a white swan. If you want even more electrifying thing, take Om. Meaning you get 110 kilohertz. It just vibrates. The body will start vibrating, and you will find the world is also vibrating at the same frequency, and the frequency is Om. So inside, outside, it's the same. So you have cut down the inside, outside. So if somebody wants to enter into infinite space directly, they can take Om. So what the Tibetans did, they're very intelligent people. They did Om Mani Padme Hum. And even the Jains, they took Om because that's the starting thing, because that takes you to space. And then that takes you to infinite consciousness. So you want to be in Arupa, can do it straightforward through Om. You don't have to take Swan, which is Hamsa. You don't have to do that. So it's up to you what you want to take. Or if I'm an avid Christian, I can take Christ, Hail Jesus, or whatever. I just keep on watching Jesus and looking at the quality of Jesus, then I enter into the first jhana, second, third, fourth. So I can take any tradition, any religion, doesn't matter. So you can,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
yeah, sure. Whatever religion you belong to, you can take whatever as you have learned through your younger age or whatever. You just put that, and then you'll get it. But it is a putujana, like a child. It's fine, but at least you know that you have entered. You know that you have worked out. Like in Jain, they take Saraswati. Beautiful thing, easy. The most easiest to enter into infinite space is through that. Saraswati is infinite space. Take Saraswati. So do the puja of Saraswati and you are in infinite space. Take Vishnu and you are in infinite consciousness. Simple. Take Shiva, nothingness, Shunya, and drop all the three. So you're in Turiya. Take whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Anybody else having any questions? Done? So should we end? So tomorrow, are you ready for entering into Sekha? And you're entering into it without experience of Putujana. So I'm giving you that, so don't blame me later that how this works, how that works. No questions of how this works. You should know it works. All the 24 is there as a Putujana. Okay. Then tomorrow, when you see Buddha Dhamma, you'll be shocked how different and yet same, he makes it different. So in India, Ariu, we have a sauce or a tomato ketchup called as Maggi hot and sweet. Okay. So if somebody asks, what is Maggi hot and sweet, and the ad says it's different. So if somebody asks what is Buddha Dhamma, it's different. It's hot and sweet. Okay. And Buddha cures the question of rebirth, solves it forever. And hence he says, Adi Kalyana, excellent in the beginning. Madhye Kalyana, excellent in the middle. Pariyosana Kalyana, excellent in the end. Vedanta says, Adi Kalyana, excellent in the beginning. Madhye Mishra, because you have to find your own path. You will be given material, but it's up to you how to do it. So you have to build the raft from the scratch, and very difficult. And Pariyosana Kalyana, end is excellent. So people get submerged in the middle, and Buddha put the floor, and hence it is called as Majjhima Patipada. One who built the bridge between this end to that end. And that's the reason nobody can beat the Buddha. It's impossible. Whichever Buddha it is, it need not be Gautama, any Buddha, you can't beat it. Because that's ending of journey. See, if you know how to get there, fine. But you will never know how to get there because the water is deep. You'll start. Beautiful. If you were to survive the middle, you can end. But you don't know the middle. So he solved the middle. That's the reason it's called Madhyama or Madhyamika. So remember this from words from the Buddha. Adi Kalyana, Majje Kalyana, Pariyosana Kalyana. If somebody asks you, why are you following Buddha? You're only following Buddha to stop the rebirth process. That's it. Nothing else. There's nothing else other than that. Not because you hate other religion or you don't believe in ritual or this or that. That is stupid. It's only the rebirth consciousness cut. Oh well. No birth, no death. If there is birth, there is death. It doesn't matter where you're born. In Deva realm, you'll die. In Brahma realm, you'll die. In the Turiya, so you will die. Asankheya, yes, but still you will die. So my request to all of you, at least attain one kappa or one kalpa. One kalpa is huge time that the consciousness does not get established. One kalpa. For yourself, you known, I have put my seat is booked 12C as a seat. Have you done that? Anyone sitting here, have they booked their flight ticket? And you know you have flown there. If not, there's no point. So first buy the ticket. Anyway, whether you buy the ticket or not, tomorrow we will talk about the Sekha. Okay, maybe by the time I reach Australia, the Sekha would have got half completed. Or unless I do something what I'm doing today from the jhana, skip, and then it might end soon. Otherwise, even in Australia, I might end up doing this. Okay. All right. Good day. See you tomorrow.